Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Red Room, where we begin session two of the Bell Accession. Once again, our characters are Mason Clark, a wealthy conspiracy theorist who has cause to fear for his life, Stella Vinci, a psychic who can foresee and has foreseen some strange things recently.
and has cause
Claude
to
ba-
fear for her life.
There you go. Well, you kind of all do, don't you? Claude Baker, a former archaeologist who is a Sickery scholar, who is not the only member of the team who holds that distinction. We also have Charlton Greyfriars, a former occultist, who is also a Sickery scholar and has been leading this effort along with Claude. Mason and Stella are along as research assistants. So, a very brief recap. The Bell Accession is a scenario based on material from the Black Protocol, which is a free supplement available at the Red Room online store, and that is a supplement for the darker RPG. So, what has happened thus far? The private accession vault of Mariska Bell, former chief of collections for the Sickery Private Library, and one of the 12 apostles, the founders of the Sickery Scholars, who went missing in 1990. This private vault is finally being opened and it is being surveyed. It is located in Sub-Basement 2 in Vault G2, which is on a far end of the sub basement level. This is an area where few people have reason to come. Most of the vaults in this area are permanently sealed, but they have unsealed Mariska's private vault so that they can finally accession it. We should assume it's about the year 2010 or 2011. It's been 2 decades since Mariska Bell went missing, supposedly in Prague. So, the party gained entry to the vault and discovered a beautiful entryway with black marble floor and two fine leather Tiffany chairs. They also encountered three internal vault doors. So they took the one to the right first and found a storeroom full of paintings, portraits, a rather unusual rug on the floor, some shelves with pottery, and a couple of very large scrolls, a beheaded stone statue, a tower shield with emblazoned with two black dragons, a couple of stacked crates that had apparently been through various locations in Eastern Europe on their way back to where the Sickery Private Library is located in Collier City, Florida, and a mirror, a black mirror with no reflection. Now we know that Stella had had a particularly ominous vision involving something reaching through a mirror, and so she warned her companions regarding it. But it turns out there are black mirrors everywhere. For instance, there was a black hand mirror displayed in the portrait of Rodrigo Bell, who was the ancestor of Mariska Bell, a black sorcerer who was burned at the stake for his many wickednesses. But that was quite some time ago. Apparently, everything in there has some connection to Rodrigo. There was also a number of small little cages, peculiar little cages, but they were empty. Then there was the central room, and that was where you guys found two glass cabinets or coffins. Depends on how you look at it, I guess, along with two corner bookcases full of very specific books. And of course, Mason Clark, our conspiracy theorist, immediately started to notice patterns between these various books. There was also a black mirror in this room between the two caskets, and in one of the caskets, one of the glass display cases, was found a desiccated male body. which had all these signs of being some kind of Eastern European nobleman. As I recall, you guys suspected this was in fact Rodrigo. Now, of course, to get access, you guys had to break the seals, which Claude did. And of course, he was pushed by Charlton, who knew Claude had that tendency to behave recklessly. This caused Stella to have a second vision. And this time she saw the corpse look up, smile at her, and say thank you. This was not a happy experience for Stella. It probably wasn't terribly happy for the others when they found out about it, but what was done was done. And then finally they go to the left door, open it up, and there they find the actual accessioning room. So they find a couple of bookshelves, they find several items of different kinds, yet another black mirror, and the small hand mirror sitting on a desk, along with an open book and a couple of scrolls nearby. And the book is the accessioning journal written in Latin, which fortunately Stella can read. So its contents need not remain a mystery like the contents of the storeroom sort of did, because while one was a Slavonic Bible, none of you guys can actually read Slavonic. And then the other one was apparently and most likely Hungarian, which again, nobody reads. So, but it was a terribly beautiful scroll, a great big one too, which, of course, Charlton and Mason damaged somewhat when they dropped it. But that happens. It's accessioning, and Claude made sure to record. It was found in that condition. Tut tut tut, Claude. So now here we are at the desk, standing next to the demon statue. You guys can see the image that I posted in the Red Room Games channel that shows your perspective on the desk. If you wanted to share that. And I also provided an overhead view of the vault because you guys have explored it all. So shall we?
Speaking of the black mirror. Well, there's the hand mirror on the desk, but there's a black mirror on the wall, right?
There is in that short passage. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep. In that short passage, you come into the room and the room is divided by the bookcases, and there's a short passage to where the desk and some of the other items are located, and there's that initial area where you enter it, and all you can see is books and papers and a couple of shelves and some scrolls on the floor. So there's a lot of items in here, and this apparently is where Mariska Bell did her actual accessioning work. And as mentioned last time, you guys stopped just as you were beginning to look at the accessioning journal, which was laying open on the desk.
I will
and so
pointedly look at Charleston and say, like, this is why you check all the rooms before you start taking things off the shelves.
Charlton says, I'll have to say I'm very, very interested in these mirrors now. They seem to be everywhere. It must be important.
Yes. Well, I mean, we had a psychic premonition about the mirrors. So unfortunately,
but
and
Claude,
I have turned the hand mirror on the desk face down. So
okay, so you did touch the hand mirror?
I did.
Okay.
Oh, do I need to roll for my...
You do, and so does Claude. You guys need to roll for your curses.
All right. I'll roll for Claude first. Or, yeah, if you don't roll.
So I will roll for Charlton.
All right. Tell me when you're ready for me.
Go for it.
All right. I rolled any modifiers on it for will or anything?
I believe it is a wits check, yes.
All right. So I don't think my wits are particularly great. Yeah. No. So I rolled a 9.
Okay. And what's your wits modifier?
0. I have a 12.
Okay, so roll a 1d6.
1.
Okay, so far as you're aware, everything's fine.
I'm dead.
So, now the DM needs to make 2 rolls. Oh dear. So who is, I presume Stella is reading the accessioning journal. Is
Yes.
that correct? Okay. So I will go ahead
And I
and
will
read it.
record that. Yeah. On my
Okay.
tablet while she does that.
Right, because remember, you guys have your MacBooks with Crypt AI that can't do everything for you, but it can help you with some things. So, Mariska's Accession Diary. So, you take a quick look at the most recent pages, and Stella, you start to notice a pattern beginning Sunday, February 18th, 1990. All these entries are handwritten in Latin, and this one says, I have found it! Finally, I have found the long abandoned vault where my ancestor kept his cabinets. With them, I can reproduce the ceremony he used famously to increase his powers and extend his life. One source says he killed 200 this way, another 300. The numbers do not matter. What matters is that I have the cabinets.
Whoops.
The next entry you see that is of interest is from Friday, February 23rd of 1990. And it says, clever, very clever. But Rodrigo was not clever enough. He nearly had me fooled, and that would have cost me everything. There were 2 sets of instructions, not one, hidden in his large scrolls. Perhaps he found putting the real one in his Slovenian Bible amusing. I was not fooled, because I have the 13th member to safeguard me. Still, I will have to seal the cabinets. I dislike what happens with Rodrigo lying there waiting to be fed. He causes small mischiefs.
Is he
Then you find,
remember a term that would make sense?
if you read the Black Protocol, you may have an idea. Yes. As a member of the Sikri Scholars and kind of in the second inner circle, tell you what, you can do a knowledge check, and I think you would use your intelligence for this one.
Okay. And I'm not, Relic Hunter is probably not.
Not in this particular case.
Gotcha. I get a 17.
Very well. You are not entirely sure who the 13th member is, but that is a legendary attribution for a hidden member of the board of the Sikri Scholars. Who the 13th member is has never been disclosed. But that is the only reference to a 13th member you are familiar with. And I rolled for Charlton as well, and he confirms your opinion. He says, yeah, that's the only 13th member I've ever heard of.
Well, these are all black magicians, so I'm assuming they might have.
So, Sylvia, you find another entry from Monday, March 5th of 1990.
Let me just say, when they say about Rodrigo, I open my eyes and look at the 2 scholars in an admonishing way. They just Fred him.
So, the entry for Monday, March 5th, 1990 says, the little ones warned me in time, but just barely. Rodrigo nearly had me. The black mirrors are important to containing him, but it is a difficult technique, and I cannot always be present. My duties are too substantial, and Marion grows curious about why I am spending so much time in my private accession vault as it is. I cannot afford for her to know. Not yet. I'm not ready. Then the next entry of interest is Monday, March 19th of 1990. And this one says, the equinox approaches. Marion has stated that I must be present for the board meeting. There are just the three of us now from the original group, she, Chester, and I, but really Chester is her obsession now. Why she worries about such things now after so many years seems absurd to me. We quarrel over small things. So many of the others failed the High King, and Marion is always suspicious now. If only she knew, she must not suspect. Then you find
Oh,
an entry.
that's a little treasonous sounding.
Then there is an entry for Saturday, March 26th, 1990.
How
Now, this
close? What was the last time she was seen? Like, if this is that year, but are we getting
she
close to
was
her?
last seen in supposedly in Prague right before May 1st of 1990.
Gotcha.
Now, if someone wants to make a knowledge check or an occult check, I can provide them with information about that.
I
Oh,
rolled a two.
I rolled an 8, so
Okay.
I
I
rolled a 7.
apparently had no interest in this subject.
Something about that date tickles your minds. Let me see what Claude thinks.
What's the
Claude
date?
doesn't think very much. I'm sorry, not Claude, Charlton. And Charlton doesn't think very much.
What was the date?
May 1st of 1990. Nobody saw her. I think the last time she was seen was like April 29th, April 30th. And it was supposedly in Prague.
Yeah. Now April 30th is Walpurgisnacht.
Do we have
And,
entries
and,
in
and May
the
1st
diary?
is Beltane.
Yeah.
Do we,
Ha
do,
ha. Bell. Ha ha.
we have entries in the diary after that date that she's supposed to be missing or not? The last ones are in February.
Well, there are several dates. You've already found some in February and March, and in fact, you just now are reading one for Saturday, March 26th of 1990, and it states, "The mirrors are the key." I didn't understand that before. The small mirror and the large mirrors are connected even beyond what Rodrigo reckoned. Only the 13th member could reveal this to me. How Rodrigo must rage that I found him in his cabinets and evaded his trap. He does not care that I am his descendant. He killed all his wives and children. He seeks immortality, but I have the key now, and not him. Now I feed on him.
Oh, whoops. That's why he was thinking this, I guess.
So, Sylvia, you also find an entry for Wednesday, April 4th. It sounds
Okay.
very interesting.
Oh,
Having tea with Marion in the entryway of my vault, and she asks me point blank when I intend to accession Rodrigo Bell's collection. It took all my composure to lie to her. The book has made her very powerful. She seemed to believe my lie about Beltane, but of course everything must be done before then. And then you find an entry, Sylvia, for Sunday, April 8th of 1990. I don't know how he managed it, but one of the mirrors was covered in the storeroom and the statue nearly had me. I managed to sever the head and return Rodrigo to his cabinet. Now I wonder about Marion. She and Chester are the only ones who have access to my private vault. Now I must leave my little ones loose to warn and protect, but I am concerned that this will make them wild, for I cannot always be here. Shortly
told you.
after that,
Told you
you
she let
find
everything out.
shortly after that you find a hastily scrawled entry for Tuesday, April 10th of 1990, and it says simply, "I found the flaw in the seals. I have renewed them, and now Rodrigo is quiet again. But they suppressed my little ones as well. They are unhappy. Well, no matter. The mirrors have many uses."
Well, someone laughed when we. So it probably was not Rodrigo. It was the little ones because it
You
was.
guys, you did hear laughter when you
Mhm.
broke the seals. That's true.
Oh man.
Here's an entry for Thursday, April 19th of 1990. So we're getting much closer to Walpurgisnacht and Beltane. Thursday, April 19th, 1990. I have used the mirrors to assure that Marion and Chester will never be a threat to me again, but the time is beyond my control. I must complete the accessioning and obtain the power I seek. Only by so doing can I assure my survival. The coven is broken. The time of choosing has come. Only one can ascend. Here is an entry for Monday, April 23rd of 1990. I have made arrangements to go to Prague, but I won't actually be there. Creating so large a simulacrum was difficult and has left me drained. And they might miss the research assistant I used. No matter. Soon I will pass through and be beyond the reach of all of them. What's one research assistant, more or less?
First of all, I would like to apologize on behalf of the Sickery scholars for you having heard that. Research assistants are valued members of the Sickery family.
Yes, of course.
Charlton just kind of looks at you and then says, "What? Oh, yes, 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 of course." So finally, you have a final entry in Mariska's own handwriting. And this one is dated Monday, April 30th
Oh,
of
so the
1990.
previous was someone else's handwriting?
Oh no, all these entries have been in her handwriting.
Oh, okay.
But I'm getting to that though. It is time for me to pass through the black mirror. It is hard to have to leave the scrolls and the little mirror behind, but they cannot pass and I must. I know what waits beyond, but I am ready now, and my little ones will keep the place safe for me until I can return. If you read this entry, Marion or Chester or both, it is too late. You cannot reach me, and you cannot avoid your fate. I will claim the High King's crown for those who are worthy. I will ascend. You thought you could cheat me, but you have failed. And now, Sylvia,
Now,
is where
are
it gets...
Marion and Chester still alive at this juncture?
No.
No. So Chester Poole died in 1991. It was devastating, apparently, to Marion Sickery. She herself, and I think you've looked at the images in the Black Protocol, died under mysterious circumstances. It was attributed to a fall in 1996. To the best of everyone's knowledge, every member of the 12 apostles is gone, one way or the other.
There is no 13 apostle.
Well, there's the
There's
13.
She mentioned the 13, but there is no
the
13.
hidden
Yeah.
13th member. Yeah. Thing is, at your level, you have no idea who that is. Even Claude and Charlton don't know. Who's the 13th member? Nobody knows. But here is what Stella sees, and it may jar her a bit. There is a last entry in the journal. It is undated, but it is written in an entirely different hand. Mariska's hand was precise, neat, very, very well written, very lightly written. This is dark with thick slashing lines. It's a much more masculine looking hand. You have to look at it very closely because it's almost as though the person writing knew Latin as well, but just didn't write it the same way. And it says, "Foolish, stupid descendant. You blame your friends, but it was me all the time. I Rodrigo Bell, Count of Grotitorum, Lord of Reteteti Arsani.
Skip to the end.
Did you think that one who has not even lived one life could defeat me? I will await your return and laugh at how you have harmed those closest to you. And if any other reads this, know that I am waiting for you as well.
Okay, this is why you don't backstab other Sikri scholars or your beloved research assistants
And
because
now you know. And
right,
now you know.
and
This
knowing
is
is half the
this is the
battle.
danger of a coven falling out. And yet it
What
seems to happen.
are we close to Beltane at the moment?
This is happening at an indeterminate date. It's happening on some nondescript weekend.
So yeah, we're not cusping on her.
Right. This is not one of the 8 Black Sabbaths. You guys know that Beltane is like a big deal around the Sikri Private Library for
Yeah.
reasons that are not really made clear.
Well, and she's a Bale, so Beltane,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah. So, it's not really any particular weekend. It's just this was the time somebody from the board said, "Yep, it's time." Uh, you're not even sure who gave the order. You just remember that the document came down and said, this is a board action. So
I
there you
will
go.
pull up. I'll pull up the article, an internal article on Beltane,
Okay.
and its mystical and ritual significance.
Yeah. Beltane had a particular importance to Marion Sickery. It is tied to the foundation of the Sickery Scholars and the Sickery Private Library itself. It's tied to the inauguration of the 12 Apostles. But what that significance was, Marion Sickery and the 12 never revealed. That's an internal document. Now, of course, you can also get access to all the usual information on Beltane. It's a Wiccan holiday. It's a traditional Celtic holiday. It's believed to be a Black Sabbath, all that kind of stuff. The associations with the key thing about Beltane is the breaking down of boundaries between worlds. Right? That's the whole
Yeah,
Walpurgis Nacht thing.
yeah, yeah.
It is one of the 8. It is one of the 4 high holy days of the occult calendar. So, like the spring equinox, which is mentioned in the entries that you were looking at, is a minor holiday, but Beltane's one of the big 4. So you know that Beltane has a particular significance to the organization, but a lot of the reason as to why, I mean, was it just an affectation on Marion Sickery's part? Who knows? Maybe the board members know, but it's one of those things they don't talk about. You do know that they have a big annual party every May 1st.
Hmm.
I
So
have a question that is probably a stupid question, but let's be. The apostles, even if after being dead, they continue to be. Nobody replaces them, right?
Well, what you do know is that supposedly every member of the original Sickery board who either died or became unable for whatever reason to fulfill their duties was supposedly replaced by another scholar.
Okay.
So there are no vacancies on the board, and supposedly never have been. But one could never join the 12 apostles. I mean, those were the founders. But in theory, they're all dead now, or at least from the point of view of the organization, they are dead. After all, you guys waited 2 decades to accession, Mariska Bell's vault. So, you know, nobody feels like they're in a hurry to do anything fast, I guess. But
But yeah, they are the ones. Okay. Yeah. Nobody. took their place. Okay, just wanted to
Right?
see.
The 12 apostles, the Sickry board, yes, but the apostles are the apostles.
Mhm.
And they've been dying off since 1973, if I remember correctly. It's terrible when you have to go back and read your own lore because you can't remember things. Um,
And they all died of the sort of thing that happens to black magicians, right? Like
well,
in
I mean, would you like for
custody,
me
in
to?
custody.
Yeah. So, like Thomas Paine Milligrew, who was the atheist, was the first one to die, and that was in 1973. And he died, interestingly enough, on October 31st.
Oh,
Peter Watson
trick or treat.
Bell, yeah. Peter Watson Bell was last seen at the Beltane celebration at SPL, but he's just not been seen since. Theodore de Blasi was arrested in Panama, and the records indicate he committed suicide by hanging in prison on August 1st, which is another Black Sabbath. But that's the information that's been, Linda Lorne died of AIDS in September 1982. Graziella Cerruti also died of AIDS in 81. Victor Belladonna was assassinated in Los Angeles on Beltane of 1977. Mariska Bell was believed to have disappeared in Prague sometime in July or August of 1990. However, you see no entries in her accession diary past April 30th. Dr. Downbellow went nuts in 1985, and he kind of went into a private asylum, and nobody's heard of him since. Inigo Sol Lopez was killed outside Madrid in '79. Chester Allen Poole suffered a major stroke in '91 and supposedly died 3 months later at his home at his Collier City estate. He was a very wealthy man, like Marion was wealthy, Chester was wealthy. His death, he was, other than Marion herself, he was the last of the 12 apostles, and apparently his death really devastated her. And then there was Monsignore Demian. So he got basically defrocked, and he died in a fire at Chester Poole's summer home in 1983. Again, supposedly. These are all things that you guys know based on information you've been given. Even this is like inside dope. If you're not a
Yeah.
member of this organization, you don't really get to know these
Well, and it
things.
sounds like more than a couple of them are just like never seen again types. So
It happens.
yeah,
As a member of the Sickry Scholars, you know that at least 50 of your body have disappeared or died at some point over the years.
it's been 3 days since the last disappearance of a secret scholar. um. Okay, so we've broken the seals. I think we've set Rodrigo loose. Although it sounds like he was probably already. Did he date his entry?
It is undated. It's simply the last handwritten entry in the journal.
And I will just sort of lean down over the book and look at it kind of at an angle to see, is the ink wet? Like, did he write this after we broke that seal? Like,
Yeah,
Well,
that's
the
what
ink,
I think.
the ink does look dry.
okay.
That's as much as you know. So you guys have read the accessioning journal, and I will post the PDF to the Red Room Games channel. Normally I wouldn't read it out, but obviously anybody watching couldn't read it with us, so I figure that's probably the best way to handle it.
Okay, well, so
Well, I will look at the scholars and say, well, you are the scholars. What do we do now?
well, there's a huge part of me that just says we finish the accession and we close this door, but there's another part of me that says as soon as we open that door, we might be letting something out that needs to stay
So
here.
Charlton reaches over and picks up the mirror, the little hand mirror, and takes a look at it.
Okay.
And he
If
looks
he
at you.
melts, then we'll know.
So he looks over at you, Claude, and he says, But you saw what she was saying in the entries. There's
Yes.
something very important here, Claude.
What she
Something
was
really
saying in the
important.
entry, what she was saying in the entries is that every part of this process is trapped, and that every part of it is trying to kill you. You know, standard occultism applies. So until we know what the right move here to make is, we shouldn't be making casual moves. We do know that the second set of instructions, the presumably correct set of instructions, is in the Hungarian Bible.
Mhm.
So let's
That's where she found them, yes.
let's go looking in that and see if we can find the outlier.
The Hungarian Bible or the Slovenic Bible?
The Slovenian Bible, yeah.
It's the Hungarian. She said she found the second set in, right?
No, the entry said that the correct set was found wrapped in this. She found it wrapped in the Slovenian Bible,
Oh, okay.
and she thought that was an ironic joke on Rodrigo's part.
All right. So
he-
let's look at that and see if we can.
Okay. So Charlton shrugs and kind of looks at the mirror and puts it back down on the desk, and then he kind of looks over at you, Stella, and says, "Didn't we find a key?" I thought we found a key beneath a pillow last time.
Oh
did.
yes, I have
We
it.
did, but it's in my pocket.
Oh, okay. So he points at the desk and says, "Well, is there any place to use it here? Where do we use this key?"
Is there any place in the desk?
There is a locked drawer at the very bottom on the side closest to the demon statue.
Now you know because Pedro had a family dinner, the GM can use him to kill us.
Yeah, I know. He's looked in the mirror twice now. Like he's completely compromised. You might as well hog time and leave him on one of the really expensive chairs.
Yeah, but I also know Pedro's perfectly capable of screwing up just
Yeah,
by
he
doing
would
things.
do it.
Aw.
Yes.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, see. I will test the key, cursing myself for not making it more obscure to Charles.
It fits.
All right, let's open it up.
So Claude twists the key, and you hear this distinct sound of tumblers falling.
Mm.
And then click. And when that happens,
It explodes.
you all hear laughter.
Oh man!
And it's
Oh.
coming from behind you.
Is it? Oh, okay. Okay, I'll just yeah, I'll hit the deck and then and then turn around to see what's over me.
You guys see little men come pouring out of the dark mirror.
Oh no, they were in the mirror all along.
Twisted, stunted little creatures that look like they're about 6 inches tall.
None of us speak
First
Hungarian.
1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then you realize there's a lot of them.
What constitutes a weapon in our group at the moment? Not the
Well-
MacBook. Yeah.
I was about to say the MacBook is made out of magnesium.
Mhm.
So as you look around, you can see all kinds of things in this space. There are lots of books. There is the hourglass. There are various vials. There is the dark mirror, the hand mirror. There's a chair. There's a chair pushed into to the desk. So there's lots of improvised weapons.
Can
I'll grab the hand mirror from Charlton if I, get back up and in time before they close on us.
can we
Alrighty,
crush them?
guys.
Crush them?
Well,
Like with
that's
a
what we're about to find out.
Okay.
So everybody roll initiative.
Oh, I rolled a
Two.
6.
6.
Oh my gosh, everybody's rolling sixes, including me.
So Stella is,
On the left one.
is behind us, but everyone else.
Not quite, because Charlton rolled a 4.
Oh, Charlton.
So Mason,
No, but I rolled
Claude.
two, so
What did Stella roll?
a 2.
Okay. So the little creatures, of which there are about a dozen, Claude and Mason will all go at about the same time. We'll resolve those simultaneously. Then Charlton will go, and then Stella. So,
Mason doesn't have a gun.
does anyone have a gun?
Paranoid, he doesn't have a gun.
No.
No, yeah.
Could have something to do with the fact that nobody's really allowed to enter without with weapons unless you're a security individual. It makes sense if you stop and think about it. It's like this place has got all.
Well, it makes sense if you have normal books. If you're packing grimoires.
Yeah, but did anybody
Ancient
really
sepulchres and
expect this? So anyway, okay. So the little things come at you guys, and let's see. So there's a dozen of them, and there is 4 of you. So each of you shall get 3 of them. So Mason and Claude, what do you guys do?
Run away?
There's
Yeah,
no
go
place to
ahead.
run.
Okay, I'm going to defend myself because I cannot do anything else. I have no skills in combat, and my strength is 9, agility is 10, so I'm pretty much defenseless.
Okay, so describe how you defend yourself. Oh, okay, so you're actually going full defense?
Full defense, yeah.
Okay, and Claude, what are you doing?
I am trying to grab the hand mirror, and I'm going to turn the mirror part of it to face them and kind of, basically use the mirror to ward them off.
Okay,
And see if that works.
okay. So you're just trying to ward them off then?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so 3 attacks on Mason. One of which strikes. And you realize these creatures it's almost like they're little shards of glass that it's like the reflections of people come to life as little glass simulacrums. Did you guys ever watch that one Sherlock Holmes movie
Yes.
where the guy gets attacked by the
stained glass creature.
Stained
young
glass
Sherlock
knight.
Holmes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very similar effect. And so Mason takes 1 hit point of damage. And then I will next do Claude. And Claude takes 2 hits. And you take 2 points of damage. Let's see, Charlton. Oh dear. So Charlton only gets 1 hit, but it's a crit. So he takes 4 hit points of damage. Ouch. He screams because this thing has really stabbed his foot. And then Stella. Huh, okay. Okay. They suck because they missed you all 3 times.
How lucky.
How? So now it's Charlton's turn, and he is just absolutely just yelling, and it's like, I'm too old for this, and all this kind of stuff. And
So I
So he
guess
attacks-
the mirror trick doesn't do anything.
I'm not so far, no. Just showing
Okay.
that the mirror doesn't seem to have any impact on them. But Charlton does manage to stomp on one of them,
Way to go, Chuck.
and he crushes it, and it makes a distinct sound like tinkling glass, like you step on like a pair of glasses. And it's the one that stabbed him, and he just stomps his foot down and shatters into pieces,
Oh,
ground
no,
into little
I have
glass dust.
flashbacks to my high school bully as soon as I hear the glasses being shown.
And
That's
it is
what
now
I'm going to try to do. I'm going to
it's
try
now
to.
Stella's turn.
How do I say pizzaus? To crush them with my feet.
Okay,
I rolled a 13 and I don't have
that's
any.
enough.
Okay.
And you do 1d4 damage when you stomp them.
Right, then 1d4. Choo choo choo. Where is my d4? It's here. 2 damage.
And you crush it. These are only like 6 inches tall. And so that's, several members of the team have taken some damage from the stabbing glass hands, but now 2 of the little, whatever they are dead.
And I'm going
So-
to tell them, behave, you little bastards.
It's like being attacked by your cats, right?
Yes, exactly.
So let's roll initiative again, guys.
I'm a 2 this time.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
2 again.
And I'm
Okay.
going to do as well. So everybody's a 2.
All right, and let me
Good
roll
grief.
for Charlton. Well, Charlton's a 4 again, so he'll go first this time. But the good news is they really stank on their initiative this time. They were a 1. So
Yay.
everybody gets to move before they do. So Charlton is feeling, old and tired and cranky. Oh, that was no problem. Yeah, so he hit one. And he crushes another one. He's sitting there going, you little bastards. Oh, yeah. And he's just kind of stomping around. And they're scurrying out from under his feet and stabbing at him with their little hands. But he's killed 2 of his attackers. So let's, since all the rest of you are at the same initiative, I'll just pick randomly. Mason.
Okay, I'll attack them now.
Okay.
I rolled an 11.
You got him. Roll 1d4.
One.
And you kill it. They're little glass things. They're
Yeah,
dangerous.
Oh,
They're dangerous, but they have like glass jaws. Yeah, yeah. It's their numbers that make them dangerous. So okay, so now we have, what is it? 3 down now. No, yeah, no, yeah, 3 down. Oh, 4 down. 4 down because there was already 2 down.
Yeah.
And 2 more have been killed, so that's 4 down. So that leaves 8. Claude, what are you going to do now?
As soon as I hear that shattering glass sound, I'm going to be like, no, that sound! I won't go back to high school! And I'll grab one of them and throw it at one of the mirrors to try to shatter it.
Oh, now that's interesting. So you're going to try to grab one
Yep.
and throw it at. Are you? I mean,
And I'm assuming
Okay.
they're sort of 2D or very.
kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, they're like very thin.
My other
So
option
you-
would be to try to kick it in that direction. But yeah, I want
Okay,
to see if I
so-
can put one back through the mirror.
Okay, so you did you grab it? Did you kick it? What did you do?
I will kick it, yeah, since it's apparent that their stabbiness is from the fact that they have like sharp edges.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a d20. I'll give you a chance at it.
16,
That's enough to hit it, but it's
but
not
to
going to end up
do
in the
anything
mirror.
trick shoddy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and
go ahead and
D4,
roll your damage.
2 points.
Okay, so you kick him, and he hits the wall and shatters into 1,000 pieces.
No, even I'm making the noise.
And then Stella.
Okay, I'm going to stab them again. I rolled a 16
Okay,
to stab them, or not stab them. 1 damage.
that's okay. You crushed him. So their numbers are vastly reduced when they attack this time. So let's see who gets hurt. So there's only 1 left to attack Charlton. I'll resolve his first. And it misses. Then there is only 1 left to attack Stella. but it does hit. And she takes 2 points of damage. It got a good hit on your shin. It's a bleeder. So there's 2 left on Mason. First one misses.
She took
Second
it
one
on the
misses.
shin.
Yep. And then I think there are 2 left on Claude.
I'm getting,
And they both miss.
oh ho ho! Sucks to be you guys. Little glass man.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your initiative, guys.
It's too bad we're away from the cages. We could put one in the cage and interrogate it.
Exactly.
Oh god, I rolled a 1.
Yep. Oh
I
dear.
rolled a 5.
Excellent. What'd you do, Stella?
But that's a good idea. I'm going to try to pick one of them up.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Okay. What's your
Oh,
initiative?
but you've got gloves on, so. Or I guess we all
Yes.
do, don't we?
Yes, 5.
Okay. And Charlton is a 2. So it looks like Mason and Stella will go first. So Stella, go ahead and try to grab one.
Okay, I rolled a 16.
Okay. You do successfully grab him, which is not difficult, but now he tries to stabby you because he is very sharp.
Oh, he's getting an attack of opportunity.
He will do 1 point of damage to your hand. He is very active.
Do I have a bag? I will try to put something on top of him. A
No,
cloth?
but you do have a desk with like several drawers.
Okay, so I'll put him in the drawer.
Okay, you guys see her take her bleeding hand and shove this little glass guy into one of the desk drawers. And there you go. So Mason, what do you do?
Okay, I'll kick one of the bags. I rolled a 16.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. 1d4.
And I rolled a 2.
Yep, you smash him to pieces. That leaves only one tormentor for Mason. Then let's see. So there is. Let me make sure I've got my notes here correct. Oh, I forgot Charlton. Charlton gets to attack. Hold on. And he misses. Okay, so he draws an attack.
Charlton, damn you, we need your sword.
So he misses. Let's see. Stella, I believe, no longer has any attackers. You shoved your last one in a drawer. There's only one left for Mason. And he misses, and there's one left for Claude.
Yeah,
And he also misses. So you guys are pretty lucky. So let's roll initiative. Fourth round of combat.
I get to do mine. I was on one.
Oh, right. That's right. You rolled a 1. Right. Go ahead and roll your attack.
I rolled a 1, so.
Yeah, you definitely miss. In fact, you almost fall on your butt, which would be fatal because they're all at the 6-inch level. So round 4, roll initiative, folks.
I rolled a 1.
I am a 4.
Oh dear, that's better. What about Mason?
Sorry?
What's
Initiative.
Mason's initiative?
Oh, initiative.
Oh, very good. And Charlton is a 3. The little critters got a 2 this time. So Mason goes first.
Okay, just one left, right?
Just one for you.
Okay, I rolled a 17.
Oh, yeah, no problem. 1d4.
I rolled a 4 this time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's turned to dust. You kind of grind him under your heel because I guess you're pissed off. Who knows?
Yeah.
So then it's I believe it's Claude is next.
At 4, yep.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to do another kick to the one remaining on me. 15.
That's enough. Yeah.
Right. And that is 4 points of damage.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. So you turn him into glass dust. Then a very frustrated-looking Charlton attacks the remaining one, who is attacking him, and he does hit it. And he also does 4 points of damage. So yeah, you guys are kind of ending on a strong note. And that's it. We don't even have to reach Stella. They're all destroyed except for the one that she locked in the drawer. And you do see the drawer kind of vibrating a little bit, like something's trying to get out, but of course it's too small. And it
Now,
really
the
can't
drawer
do
that
that.
she put it in is not the one we just unlocked, or is there just the one drawer?
No, there's several drawers. I
Okay.
took it for granted that she'd do something that's a little closer to her height rather than bending over to the
Gotcha.
drawer you just opened.
In that case, the cages are in a different room. So,
That's true. They're back in the storage room.
Well, we can go get it.
yeah, I was about to say, I will.
Charlton
Take
offers
my
to go.
badge.
He says I'll just go get it.
Oh, but you're.
And why don't you go ahead and
Oh,
open the
okay.
drawer and see what's in there?
I give Charleston like a really sober look. Like, does this still look like the man I knew? Or is he like, I'll go, and I absolutely won't go to one of those coffins and do something horrible.
And so Charlton's goes ahead and walks over to the vault door and twists the bar
Okay,
and
I will.
pulls it open with some a little bit of effort. I mean, he is an old man, and then steps through.
Yeah, Mason, would you mind going with him to help him?
Yes.
Get a cage.
So and then Claude, what do
See,
you do?
I've solved our problem by sending the paranoid guy with him. That way,
Exactly.
he will be as paranoid as I want to be. And yeah, in that case, we will open up the other drawer that unlocked and see what is inside it.
You see 2 scrolls.
If these are in Hungarian or Slovenian or balaclava or whatever, just don't tell me still. I will.
There are 2 scrolls.
I will pull them out. Yeah, I will pull them out onto the desk and let her take a look at them. Her linguistics.
They are just 2. They both look old. Before you unwrap them, and the only thing holding them closed, each one has a red silken cord that looks identical, and is wrapped around the 2 scrolls, and they are even tied the same way.
Now, but no wax seal
Nope.
ward or anything.
Nope. No
Gotcha.
ward at all.
Okay. Well then.
Carefully unroll it.
Okay. So in the meantime, Claude and Mason have entered the entryway. And Claude, you see Charlton kind of look back at you, and you get the faintest impression he may be slightly annoyed. He looks over at the central door for a moment, then shrugs and walks over to the door to the storeroom. And he takes out his card and, flashes it over the card reader, and it clicks, click. And he opens the door. So where are you located at this time? Are you following closely behind him, or 5 feet away, 10 feet away? Where are you?
That's you, Mason.
Oh, closely, yes.
Okay. So you're standing right behind him, and he pushes the door in. He says, "Help me a little bit, will you? It's kind of heavy."
Yes, I'll help him.
So the 2 of you push the door open, and then you see something large and white, and Claude reach over, and Charlton's head separates from his shoulders in a spray of blood. And you hear something roar like a bear.
Oh, there's our Wendigo. Damn it.
Which you do, Mason. Oh, by the way, everyone takes a fear point for the attack of the glass homunculi.
Oh, yeah, that makes No, I don't know about it yet, but something in my Sickery senses tells me that the second greatest Sickery scholar has been harmed.
And Mason, you take 2 fear points for seeing Charlton's sudden and horrendous death right before your eyes. Knowing what the only thing you think that could have done the damage, you saw the claw, you saw the white fur. And he's literally died. I mean, you got the blood spray from it.
Yes.
I will say the one thing you do note, kind of in an abstract way, I assume, it was very quick. 1 minute his head was there, the next minute his head was gone.
Okay, I'll try to run away.
Yes. So where do you run to?
Back.
Oh,
Back. Yeah. Fortunately, nobody said
grab his
anything
key.
about having closed that door. So yes. So you now, Stella and Claude, you are in the process of unwrapping those scrolls, and you just got them opened, and that's when you guys hear that horrific roar, and Mason comes running back into the room. Mason, what do you do once you're inside the room?
I start screaming.
Okay.
Ah, he's dead.
Who's dead? Close the door. Close the door. If once he says he's dead, I assume he means.
Okay. What do you do, Mason?
I'll try to close the door. Yes.
Again, it's not that big a deal for, somebody of normal health. So you close the door and the latch falls back into place. And then a moment later, you hear this massive whomp as
Look,
something hits the door. And then you
we're
hear it
not
again.
judging
Whomp!
Charleston's health, but he was dealing with early onset decapitation, and now it's finally.
But the
Eh,
Wendigo was dead. I mean, we had a Wendigo fur.
Yeah, exactly. I'll look at Stella and say, like, surely it's the Wendigo.
Well, now you guys vaguely remember that the mirror in the storeroom got covered because somebody said, "Hey, we should really cover this mirror."
Yes, we did.
And what did the notations in the Accession journal say about that?
It's a covering mirrors is a great idea. Cover them all the time.
So anyway, so there's like 3 big wumps, but that is one heck of a vault door, and so you don't hear a fourth one. It's all pretty quiet in here because each of these vaults are kind of sealed off. So,
Yeah,
without the
stuck
sound
in
of
this
something
room.
actually impacting the vault door, you don't hear any further noise.
we're stuck in this room now. Crap.
That
What you
was
do,
the
guys?
room. We are not in the room with the coffins, right?
No.
Right. Yeah, we're in the leftmost room. We're all
Right. If you
rack
guys
and
look at
books
the
on.
at the map of the vault, you're in the leftmost room, the one that has the desk, the one where
Yeah.
Mariska apparently actually did her accessioning itself.
This room is super, super safe. I say, looking directly at the giant statue of a demonic creature.
Yeah. So,
Well, let's
um,
read the scrolls.
okay. So the scrolls, Stella, are in Latin, so you're quite able to read them. And of course, you recall that Latin was at one time kind of the common language of scholarly people in Europe, anyway, and was commonly used by the Hermetic community. Even in Eastern Europe, alchemists and sorcerers and all that tended to use Latin by preference. So you read it, and they are 2 identical formulas until you get to the end. And one of them says, lay down in the empty cabinet while holding the black mirror and say the following chant: hula, 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 ahwa. And then the other one says, place the black hand mirror on top of the victim's cabinet and chant hula, 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 awa. And that is the only difference between the two.
Does that language clock with either of us?
You guys both speak a lot of languages, ancient and modern, and that doesn't sound like anything you've ever heard.
But that's not uncommon in a cult. Do you have to know the language you're chanting in order for it to be effective?
Oh no, as a ritual magician, you know that's absolutely not required. You just have to get the pronunciation correct.
So hula, hula, hula.
Because the rule of magic is do what thou wilt.
Yeah, that should be the whole of the law, not that.
There you go.
Do no harm part.
Somewhere RPG pundits' ears are itching. Now.
Whoever put that "it do no harm" part in there was a hippie.
Exactly. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Yeah. So here's. I don't know if we should stay in here and wait to see if that thing goes back to being a carpet once there's no viable target for it. I mean, at some point we're gonna have to open that door, but. Nah, we don't have a cage, but do we want to try to see if we can get anything out of little glass guy? I don't even know
the
what we
drawer
threatened him with.
is still vibrating, so he definitely wants to get out.
Yeah.
Do we have some object we can threaten him with?
We can just hold him down. Yeah, well, we can shatter him pretty much.
Yeah, and I tell him, I'll show you my hands.
Yeah, you observe that attempting to hold the guy even with a pair of gloves doesn't necessarily come out well. It's like trying to hold a piece of a broken mirror that's squiggling in your hands. It can be done, but it hurts.
Oh, I think I know what we could do, but it's gonna be weird. I'm gonna close up the Accession book, and then you just open one part of the cover of it.
Okay.
And yeah, we're gonna open the drawer a little bit so that this guy like starts to stick a hand or a leg or something out. And once he does that, I'm gonna try to wrangle him in and like basically bookmark him in the book so that I can lean on the book and he's just sort of flat in there, except his head sticking out, presumably.
Okay.
And we will
see. Yeah, you can try that.
Sure. Yeah, this is the most Indiana Jones thing I've done in a while.
Okay.
Let's see. Do I have an agility bonus? Yeah, I have the most medium stats in the world. So, let's see. Yeah, I don't have any skills in particular that would help either. So, 13.
Okay. So you do capture him in the book.
Mm-hmm.
When you open the drawer, he pops out, slashing his little arms, and you flap the cover of the Accession journal, which is very large and heavy. That's a very heavy hardback book, and you do trap him. So he's kind of trapped between the cover and the frontis page.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put enough pressure on so that and then I'm just gonna look at him and go, "Talk, gingerbread man, or you join your friends."
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't move because you've got him trapped in the book, but he doesn't say anything.
I don't think they're smart enough to speak. I'll tell Stella and seem disappointed. And then I'm gonna wait for
Let's
Him
tell
to,
him that
to be
it's
like, oh
the end
no, I think you'll
of
find
the
I speak 8 languages.
incantation. Oh la la la, something something, and see if he
Hula
reacts.
hula. Yeah, hula
Yes.
hula hula. You think saying it to this dude who's gonna?
I mean, he's not going to do anything, but maybe he will react.
Yeah. All right, I'll say hula hula hula, and then the next part. I'll even check the scroll if I have to.
Okay, yeah. So he's still stuck in the book, I guess.
Is his expression changing? Or is he just sort of going dormant?
No, nothing seems to change. He's just stuck in the book.
That's tough. Where is your master?
But he's not looking around or moving his mouth or
No, no, he's like a little cardboard cutout.
yeah.
Maybe it's because of the book.
Mm. And he's not moving at all either. He's not struggling.
No.
Okay. Well then let's just shelve him for right now.
Okay.
All right.
Um, yeah, you can just lay him, up on some shelf somewhere. There's books everywhere, but there's
Yeah.
probably some
I'll
space
make
on one of
enough
the
of a
shelves.
gap so that it'll keep the pressure on him, and just shelve the book uh, with the spine or with the spine down, so that he's hanging out.
Okay.
I'm wondering. We didn't open the other coffin, so
Yeah,
the
we
other
opened both
coffin
coffins.
probably.
Yeah, the other coffin was empty. It just had this key
Yes.
to open the drawer. So
So where is she? That's what I'm. Is she in the other side of the mirror?
she says she was, but she had to go somewhere else to affect it. So I think there's a mirror somewhere else that she had to also. Yeah, if I had to guess, somewhere in Prague there's something attached to all these mirrors that she had to do there. Otherwise, she could have done everything in this room, right?
So I have placed the PDF with Mariska's journal entries in the Red Room Games Discord channel. So if you guys want to grab it and take a look to remind you, because admittedly it was a lot of text, um, to remind you of what she said and what she was talking about.
All right.
So she has the cabinets that belong to her ancestor.
All right. Well, in order to get to the cabinets, though, or to either of the coffins at this juncture, we have to
And to the we didn't
open
got
that. Yeah, we have to open that door, and
and we didn't got to read the scrolls, right? Or were they all destroyed?
which scrolls?
The large scrolls.
Those were, you guys
should
left
still
those in
be
the main
there, yeah.
storeroom. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, unless that thing tore them up, but I don't think it would do that because I think all of that is important to this process. So the black mirrors contain him and her, apparently. So she knew more about the mirrors than he did. And he apparently killed his wives and his children, possibly doing this little consummation trick that the two sarcophagus represent. Okay, so if you cover the mirrors, it activates the thing that's in the room. And then it started with the statue, but now it's moved on to the and there's two bags of something which I thought was soil. So yeah, there are other things in that other room that could be used now. Okay, no, she didn't go to Prague. Yeah, so she also stayed in this room.
But you
Yeah,
didn't.
they're inside the mirrors. I have a feeling.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, she says it's time for her to pass through the mirror. Delete the scrolls in the little mirror behind. Going to claim the High King's crown. Okay, so all right, I'm going to go look. I'm going to go look in the mirror that's here, and I'm going to
Okay.
have the small mirror with me. I'm going to
Okay.
turn it to face the other mirror, so that I look like him in the portrait, like holding the mirror. I'm going to look into the mirror while doing that, so that my face and the small mirror's face are both facing that mirror.
Very interesting. So here is Mason, Stella, Claude. Here's what you see when Claude does that. You still can't see a reflection in the large mirror, but you do see something reflected in the small mirror. So when you look at it when it's facing the face of the black mirror, now you see shifting images. You see the rooms from the perspective of the other mirrors. And it's almost like it's like if you're turning a television, the old-fashioned television, where you change from channel to channel to channel. That's what it's doing. But you also see a dark realm beyond, and that's what you're seeing. The one that kind of throws you a little bit, because it's like a fourth thing. So you see an image from the point of view of the mirror in the very room you're in. So you see yourselves. You see a mirror. You see the central room from the point of view of that mirror. And then you see the storeroom. And you do see, it looks like something in the skin of the Wendigo. It's not a full-blown Wendigo, but it's something in its skin with blood splattered all over its claws. And it's kind of stalking back and forth within the room. Then it looks out the vault door. Then it stalks through the room. It looks for a moment briefly in the mirror, and then the mirror switches to something else. But there is a fourth thing you can see, and it's like a dark forest. And this is what you see in the small mirror when you have it facing the larger mirror.
Okay, so once they tell me that that's what they're seeing, I will turn it and look at the mirror with the mirror behind me. I'll look at it in the small mirror until I see
Okay.
the dark forest and see if I can just sort of back up into the mirror when the dark forest is showing.
Okay, when you do that, guys, Claude disappears and the mirror falls to the floor.
Whoops.
And then the cover of the book on the shelf pops open. And the little homunculus jumps down, walks over to the mirror, and puts it back on the desk.
The little mirror.
The little mirror. But Claude is now gone.
Gotcha. So the big mirror did not fall. It was the little mirror.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a little mirror that fell to the floor because you disappeared.
Right.
And suddenly the homunculus was active again. And then after he returns the mirror to its position, he walks back over to the large mirror and seems to kind of jump into it and disappears. Mason, Stella, what do you guys see?
I look at Mason.
Mason, all your alarms should be going off right now.
Yes.
Paranoid that you are.
There are no weapons here, so it's a problem.
It's true. There are no weapons in here. There's tons of books. There's lots of papers and scrolls and vials
a little
full
bit
of
of wood.
liquids. There's a chair. Yeah. There's an hourglass. There's lots of. I mean, the place is full of stuff, but it's all like, weirdo nerd occultist library stuff.
It's curios, yeah.
Yeah.
Please say, just run away.
Yes, that sounds.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't think to give one of you my card, and no one took the card off of Charleston, so.
Are you saying we are locked in the room?
Maybe.
Well, I mean, if you could get to Charlton's body, he might still have his card.
Well, we
You
can
can
try
try
to
it.
take the.
And also his
I'll
eyes
take
and
the
his
small
fingers.
mirror with me.
So what are Mason and Stella going to do?
Yeah, I
Are
think
you
we're
guys-
going to try.
Okay. Okay, describe to me how you do it.
Well, I'm going to take the. What happens if I look just at the little mirror without looking at the big mirror?
So if you look at the little mirror and it's not facing the big mirror, it's just jet black
Okay.
with no reflection.
What do we know about Wendigos?
You know that.
They will kill
Well,
you.
let's see. Let's go ahead and do a. Do you have a cult or anything like that?
Yes.
Go ahead and make an occult roll.
I rolled a 5, so it's not good. So it's a 7.
Yeah, this really isn't in your area of specialty since you're more of a psychic. Mason, do you have any?
I
You
have a
can
cult.
always try an unskilled roll.
I have a cult.
Okay.
I have a cult, but I roll a 5.
Okay. So this is just something neither of you have had any reason to look into before. I mean, you know that Claude and Charlton talked a lot about it. You have vague awareness that the Wendigo is like this Canadian monster or this legend among the Indians of Canada and the Inuit, and it's basically a legend tied to cannibalism and this kind of evil entity that possesses people and turns them into cannibals. It is itself cannibalistic and hunts humans, and it's kind of this vicious, nasty thing that is vaguely humanoid, but that could just be, because a bear on its hind legs can be confused for a man as well at a distance. From the skin, whatever it was, it's huge. But you also have enough knowledge of what was in the Accession journals, right? You know that Rodrigo was behind the statue moving, right? So you wonder a little if this is actually a Wendigo or if it's Rodrigo taking advantage of the seals being broken.
Yeah, because didn't we see it like something was wearing the skin?
Yes.
Yes, when you saw it through the mirror, it wasn't really like a Wendigo.
Can I try to look at the mirror in the room and try to connect with Rodrigo? I probably don't want to do that, but
Well, what you saw Claude do was you saw him hold the little mirror facing the big mirror, and then you were able to see something like channels in the little mirror.
Mm.
It wasn't until he then touched the big mirror that he disappeared.
Okay, so as long as I don't touch it, I should be safe. Okay.
You assume so.
So I'll try to do that and try to look at the room where the Wendigo is and try to spiritually connect to whatever is wearing the Wendigo skin.
Oh, okay. That's unexpected. Go ahead and make a roll. Use your psychic skill.
Okay, I'm going to use the spirit communication. I rolled 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
Well, it's 20, but it's not a natural 20.
It's a dirty 20.
I'm going to regret doing this, but I'm
Suddenly in
trying to
your head,
communicate with it. And please just let us get out of here.
so in your head, you see what looks like a very robust, mustachioed gentleman.
Mhm.
Looks distinctly Eastern. Pale skin, gray eyes. And he looks at you and goes, "What are you doing in my head?" What is it you want?
Well, I'm
To
trying to
beg
talk.
for your life? Do you want me to spare you?
I'm trying to talk to you, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, am I? Ah, if only you understood how hungry I am. Mariska robbed me of what little energy I have.
Well, the here, me and my colleague, we're not really scholars, so probably we are not the best food for you. Our powers are very limited, but above, there are people you could feast upon. Probably better than us.
Oh, but I have
I
two of
take
you.
all of that back about the beloved research assistants. They're apparently just peasants.
We are but research assistants.
Wait a minute. Where is the other one? There were two of these so-called scholars here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know I killed the one.
He
But what about the
disappeared
other
in
one?
the mirror.
He did what? I tell you what. You go into the mirror with him and bring Mariska to me. And then I'll let you go.
Will that also be extended to my friend, mate?
I just want Mariska.
Okay.
I have much to talk about with her.
Yes, I read the journal, so I understand. You guys have unfinished business.
That's one way of describing it. She will be so delicious. Now go.
Okay.
And the next thing you know, you're popped out of his head.
And so I have to tell Mason this because he didn't hear it.
Okie
There's
dokie.
a special term for, if you do other things with your relatives. Is there a special term for if you eat them?
So I'm
I don't know.
telling Mason,
Incestophagism? I mean, I don't know.
I'm telling Mason about this. So what do you think? Let's go and try to get that bitch.
Yes. How can we do that?
Well, we need to go inside the mirror like Claude did.
Yes,
I guess.
let's try to do that. Yes.
Okay.
And now we can switch to Claude for just a few minutes. Okay, so
Because
Claude,
I need to feed the cat.
there you go. So Claude, you did what you looked at the mirror at the moment that you saw the wooded location, this mysterious fourth location. You then touch the large mirror, and the next thing you know, you're standing in a dense, dark forest with a black, lightless sky. It's not completely absent of light. It's like there's this glow, like fog, but it's very dim. And everything feels very cold and very dark.
Okay, Is there any indication? No trail, no crossroads, nothing
You are
here.
standing on a path.
Hmm. Uh, I will look both ways on the path and see. I'm assuming that the path that led through the mirror is the one that leads deeper into whatever this is. So uh,
Right. So when you
I'll
look behind you,
I'll take that direction unless, yeah, looking behind me.
what you see is a mirror, just like the other black mirrors,
Hmm.
hanging on the tree behind you.
Ah,
The surface is unreflective, dark.
gotcha. Then
And
yeah,
then
then
there's the path ahead of you.
I will take the path away from that mirror and turn up my collar against the chill.
Okay. Oh, and you notice something very interesting. You still have the key with you.
Nice.
But of course, you don't have the little mirror. You don't have other
Right.
things, but you do have
Because
the
those
key.
couldn't come.
So you start walking. Alrighty. And you can, because even though it's very dim and there's not a lot of light, there is enough light for you to see the trail ahead of you.
Um, I will check the tablet or the MacBook to see, is it functional still?
It will turn on, but it has no connection to anything.
Yeah. I don't know much about Macs. Does it have like a flash for the camera? Like, can I put it in flashlight mode?
Oh well, the screen itself generates light,
That's true.
and uh, and yes, it does have its camera. It does. It doesn't really have a flashlight mode. It's not like the
Yeah.
iPhones.
Yeah, it's not a flash photography thing. Yeah, I will. If it's too dark, I will use the screen as sort of a makeshift lantern if necessary.
Okay. So you walk for about 5 minutes. I need you to make two D20 rolls and tell me the results.
Is this a survival roll?
Ah, that's just it. You're not sure what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, if
But you
it
do have to
is,
take, you do have to make two.
yeah, if it is, I do have.
Right, I got your character sheet.
Yeah. So first roll is an 11, and the second roll is a 10.
Okay. All righty. So, um, yeah, so you continue to walk. And let's see, I guess we'll shift back to Mason and Stella. So, Mason, Stella, what do you guys do now?
Well, we're going to try to do what Claude did and get inside the mirror.
Okay,
Right,
who goes
Mason?
first?
Yes.
Well, I can go first, unless Mason wants to go first.
I can do it first.
Okay.
Do we have to
All
roll
right.
anything, or we just have to imitate what
Nope,
Claude?
it's just like with Claude. It's pretty much so long as you follow the process, it's automatic. So Mason holds the black mirror in his hand. He has the faces of the mirrors facing each other. He sees the changing channels on the little mirror. Eventually, it gets to the dark forest. He reaches behind him and touches the large mirror, and boom, he's gone, and the mirror falls to the floor. Mason, you find yourself in a dark, dimly lit forest where all the light seems to come from a mist that's around the ground. And you see a little trail ahead of you, and it looks like there are footprints on the trail.
I'll wait for her. And then we can
Alrighty.
follow.
And Stella, I assume that you follow the same procedure. And now you're there and you're standing next to Mason. It's the dark forest. You see a dark mirror behind you. Before you is the trail. And again, there is a single set of footprints going down the trail ahead of you.
So yeah, none of you decided to go to one of the other rooms to just get out.
That is an excellent point, Claude.
Oh, they are good people after all. They're coming to save me.
Maybe. Or maybe it's simply that you're all trapped. After all, they could have asked for help.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to. They're going to help me claim the Night
Well,
King's
we
crown.
couldn't leave because without a key card, so we need you. Okay, I think we're gonna follow the
Follow first.
We are following the footsteps, right?
Let's follow it. Yes.
Okay. So, do you guys walk carefully? Do you run? What do you do?
Walk carefully, I would
Yeah.
say.
Okay.
Careful.
Alrighty. So, we now come to a point where Claude, you need to make 2d20 rolls. Mason, you need to make 1d20 roll and tell me the result. Stella, you need to make 1d20 roll and tell me the result.
I rolled a 3.
Okay.
I rolled a 13.
Okay. Claude?
My first roll is an 18. My second roll is a 4.
Okay. Claude and Mason, you guys hear a howling sound.
Uh-oh.
And then you hear a sound in return.
Oh. Oh, no. There's multiple.
And they all seem to be coming from the more or less the same direction. It's somewhere in the deep woods to your right. Claude, what do you do?
I'm going to step off the path for a bit and kind of hunker down to see if something is coming my way.
So you're going to hunker down where?
Well, I guess there's trees lining the path, right? So
Well, that's
I'll just
true.
sort of,
There are
I'll
trees,
just
so you're
sort
going to try
of
to.
nestle behind one of the trees so I can see the path. That, under the theory that maybe whatever's coming might pass by me that way.
Okay. What do you do, Mason? Stella didn't. You didn't hear anything.
Mhm.
I look at her and did you hear that? The howling.
No.
They're howling.
Yeah, what small ears she has, better to not hear the wolves with.
Okay.
We
So-
get her a hood. We've got this in the bag.
So Mason and Stella, what are you doing now?
Do
Let's
you want
go.
to? Do you want
What's
to
that?
call? Do you want to call for Claude? See if he listens to us.
I don't know. The creatures can listen as well.
Well, I have survival. Can we roll? I guess Mason probably also has survival because he's paranoid.
No,
Okay. Yeah. What are you rolling survival to do?
I'm going to see in instant what be the best way to go, the safest way.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll it.
17. 18 with intelligence. Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know that in forests, if you are concerned about dangerous animals, one approach is to climb a tree.
Mm-hmm.
You know that doesn't work with everything, but it can sometimes be helpful.
But as a woman, you don't know that it doesn't work with brown bears because you think brown bears are really, really nurturing.
So, do you want to climb a tree? I asked Mason.
Okay, let's try it.
Alrighty, guys. Let's see. I don't think anybody here has athletics, correct?
Yes.
I don't know.
So that makes it a kind of untrained athletics check.
Did we get a? Isn't there like a climbing?
Yes, it's
climbing
it's a
basic
basic
skill.
skill. Yeah, it's a basic skill.
Yeah, it's a base skill. I mean,
Oh, I rolled a
it's,
natural 20.
oh, there you go.
I
So,
rolled a natural one.
oh my lord. So Mason, you clamber right up a tree. Stella tries and she kind of falls down and breaks a heel on one of her shoes.
You were wearing. Oh, of course, yeah. This is an accession.
So, um, Claude, you're just kind of hiding, I assume, right? Somewhere further up the trail.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just crouched down. I'm not. I figure climbing will probably make too much noise. So
Right. So another 5 minutes. Again, Claude, you make 2 rolls. Mason, make a roll. Stella, make a roll. D20, please.
I rolled a one.
Holy
And I
cow.
rolled another natural 20.
Oh, okay.
I rolled a 14 and a 9.
Okay. Okay. And I don't think you have a bonus to your wits check, right?
No. All of
Okay.
my stats I think are pretty average.
Pretty average, right? So, Claude, you hear the sound again. It's closer this time.
Hmm.
Stella,
Okay.
you are looking kind of sadly at your broken heel on your shoe. And then, for the first time, you hear the sound of howling in the distance. Oh! Mason, you don't hear anything. You're just kind of sitting up there in your tree. You don't see a lot either because, of course, the dim conditions in the dense forest don't leave a lot of room to see anything. You see the dimly lit trail more than anything else.
Okay, I'm safe.
So, Stella and Claude, what do you do?
Oh Jesus!
Uh, hmm. Yeah, I'm going to get a little deeper, and I'm going to move a couple of trees deeper away from the path, and yeah,
Okay.
and just sort of yeah, crouch down next to the base of the tree and try to keep my
Okay.
breathing as light as possible.
I'm going to try to
Okay.
climb again.
Okay.
15.
Okay, that's sufficient. So you start to climb the tree, and we'll assume another 5 minutes pass. And Mason rolls a d20, Stella rolls a d20, Claude rolls 2.
2 and a 16.
Yeah, Claude, it's starting to get really close now.
Hmm.
I rolled a
13.
So Stella rolls a 13. Okay. Mason?
16.
Okay. Stella and Mason, you don't hear anything. And you're just kind of sitting up in your trees.
Yeah, I'm gonna. At this point, I've waited what 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to start paralleling the pathway and try to make some more motion. I
Um,
think I'm starting to convince myself that this is just a scare tactic to keep me from progressing.
okay. So, you find it's difficult. Let's see if you can make.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I'm not seeing that you have. Um, you don't have survival.
Yeah, I've got Relic Hunter, which under certain
Yeah,
conditions gives me
yeah,
bonuses.
it's a little bit different. Um, so go ahead and make a roll to
Oh
try to
wait,
make your
no,
way.
it's a perk, isn't it? +1 survival is the perk, so I
Yeah.
should have. Okay, so make a survival roll then.
Well, yeah, but you don't have the survival skill, so you'd have to make the survival skill itself is untrained. But yes, you do have +1 survival and +1 not bonus to knowledge and survival rolls. So I think that actually kind of
Oh, I
cancels
see.
out,
I
right?
always took those. Yeah, I always took those background things as just being an addition to the skill. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it gives you a +1 to the roll, but it doesn't give you the skill.
Oh. Okay. Well. Uh. So I rolled a 12 on the die.
Okay. Um, it's difficult. You're making much slower progress not being on the trail. But you do make some forward progress. And another 5 minutes pass. Mason and Stella, each of you roll a d20. Claude, you roll 2.
Okay. 17 and a 16.
Okay. So
14.
Claude, for the first time in a bit, you don't hear anything.
Nice.
Mason?
10.
10 for Stella. Mason?
14 for me.
Okay. Nobody's hearing anything right now.
Okay. I'm going to start getting back on the path then. Confident that I've worked out that this is just a way to try to scare me off the path.
Okay. So you keep walking down the path. Mason and Stella, you two are sitting in your trees. What do you do?
Well, can we see each other or hear each other?
You're vaguely aware of one another because you chose trees that are next to each other. But you noticed once you climbed up in the tree and got further away from the path and from the misty light that seems to hang around it, everything gets so much darker.
Mm-hmm.
So the two of you are just shadows to each other at this point.
Yeah, maybe I'll start going down and see what
Okay.
happens.
All right, Mason, what do you do?
Do I see her climbing down?
You see her form climbing down. Yes, you see, which you are pretty sure is Stella climbing down the tree.
Okay, I climb down as well.
Okay. So once you guys get down to the bottom, what do you do once you get there?
Should we try to find him?
Yeah, let's try to find them. If not, we're going to just be stuck here.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're just walking down the trail. Are you doing anything different? or
We're going to
new?
look for the footsteps again.
Okay. So you guys continue to follow the footsteps. Claude, you're continuing to walk down the trail. Again, another 5 minutes pass. Stella and Mason, you come to a point where the footsteps seem to stop, and it's like they turn off the trail at this point. And each of you go ahead and make a d20 roll. Claude, you continue to walk, and you think you see some light in the distance as you continue to go down the trail, but you now need to make 2d20 rolls.
Gotcha.
So Mason and Stella, what were your results?
7.
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
You both hear the howling, and it is louder now. And Claude?
15 on the first and 18 on the second.
Okay. So you don't hear anything. You continue to walk down the trail.
Well,
Stella and Mason, what do you guys do at this point?
let's just keep going off the path.
Yeah.
Or
Okay, so you guys keep going up the path, and eventually you see the footsteps again. It's like somebody stepped off the path and then stepped back on the path. You're not sure what happened, but there are definitely footsteps ahead of you as you keep walking. And Claude, you continue to walk down the path, and the light gets clearer. You're not sure, but you think you might be looking at a window in the distance, a lit window.
Okay.
It's definitely closer now. You can't really see anything else about it. And
I'll start running in its direction at this point then.
okay, that's fine. So yes, you're definitely getting closer to it. And now you need to make 2d20 rolls, and Stella and Mason each make one.
An 11 and a 17.
Okay. Stella?
4.
Okay. Mason?
3.
Okay. Suddenly you guys hear this horrific baying, like massive angry Rottweilers on the trail behind you. And here is what you see. I'm going to post this into the Red Room Games room. And if you can go ahead and share that with our audience, they might find this interesting.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ooh.
You are not sure what that is, but that doesn't look like any dogs you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Run away, run away.
Yes, run away, run away.
So you guys start running. Okay.
Yes, in the direction of the footsteps.
Claude, somewhere behind you, you
Yeah.
hear the sound of baying. It's distant, but you do hear it.
Oh no. So anyway, that window.
Yes, you're making your way towards the window, and it starts to get closer and closer and closer.
It will not occur to me that they would follow me for quite some time. Probably until I see them, actually.
So eventually, you arrive at what looks like the base of a high castle wall. It's a tower. And the lit window is like on the 3rd level above you. You'd guess it's about, 30 feet off the ground. It's near the top of the tower. It's an old-fashioned type of square tower. And that's at the corner of walls. The walls lead in one direction one way and one direction the other way. So it looks like it may be a corner tower. And this is where the trail stops.
Is there an obvious entrance, or does it look like something I'm just gonna have to?
No, not where you are.
Yeah,
Now
I'll
will
go
say,
around it then. Yeah.
Okay.
Do a circuit of it.
Okay, on one side, you see a wall that kind of trails off into the darkness. And walking along the wall on that side will not be difficult. And on the other side, you also see a wall leading off into the darkness. But again, walking along the wall will not be difficult. You're not real sure of directions.
It's like a corner.
Yeah. You're not real sure of directions, so I'll just say left and right. But what that would be in terms of the points of the compass, you have no idea.
Yeah, I will. Remembering the room, I will go to the left.
Okay. All right. So Stella and Mason, you guys are running. You hear the baying sound of the hounds you vaguely saw in the distance behind you on the trail. Each of you go ahead and make a D20 check to see that you don't run out of energy or fall down or whatever.
12.
Okay. And Mason?
1.
Oh dear. Mason stumbles over something in the trail and falls down,
He
Stella.
breaks his heel too.
Oh,
So he hits the ground. You hear him hit it with a thud behind you.
oh, Jesus, I'm going to have to help him. Okay.
Oh, okay. So
You make that sound like it's such a chore. Like, oh, I'm gonna have to help someone.
So Stella, you come back to help Mason. Mason, you fell down on the ground for a minute. You were a little bit stunned. You don't take any damage. You just fell down. What do you do once you kind of get your breath back?
Well, first I look behind to see if
They are definitely much closer. You think that they'll be on you in 15 or 20 seconds.
Okay. Time to start running again.
Okay. So you guys take off with the hounds baying behind you. Claude, you hear that sound of howling and baying and barking in the distance again. It is closer, but you're walking down the left side of the castle wall. We assume that's
Yeah.
what it is. And eventually you come to a breach in the wall. And that's when you realize, dark as it is, that this is a very old looking place.
Is it like a crumbling breach, not or and not like an architectural opening, right?
Yeah, it's not an architectural opening. It looks like it's either an accidentally or intentionally induced breach in the castle wall.
I will peer through it and then step through it.
You find yourself in the courtyard of something. There are shadows all around, which you assume are other features of this castle, maybe towers, buildings, crenellated walls.
Mm-hmm.
At the side you enter, there's kind of a courtyard area. You're not seeing any of the interior features that you, as an archaeologist in particular, would expect to see in a European castle. There's no wooden structures. There's no smithy. There's no stable. There's no internal buildings. This place looks bare. It looks ruined and
It's
abandoned.
a fort, basically.
Yeah, it looks kind of ruined and abandoned, but you do see ahead of you a tower, and you think it may be the one you had just seen, and you do see what looks like a stairway and possibly a door.
I will investigate in that direction.
All right. So Stella and Mason, you are running.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make another D20.
12.
Okay, Mason.
I rolled a 4.
Good Lord. So Mason falls again.
Okay, this time I'll just stay there. This is an illusion.
So Mason hits the ground. Stella, what do you do?
Oh, just fuck him. I'm going to continue now.
Okay, so you keep running. Okay.
The knives are out.
Okay. So Mason, you're just kind of laying there on the path.
Yeah, I wait for them. I don't
You
believe
wait for
them. They are not real.
Okay. They do arrive. Roll the d6. It's initiative time.
I rolled a 1.
Alrighty, and they rolled a 2.
If they are not an illusion, they will kill me.
So all three of them attack you. Holy cow, one of them got a 20.
Oh, yeesh.
So all three of them attack you, and all three of them hit you, and one of them crits you. You take 11 points of damage.
I'm dead.
So literally, they eat you. They kill you, and then they start eating you. Stella, behind you, you don't hear any howling or baying anymore. But you do hear this kind of sickly snapping and cracking sound.
Oh, Jesus, they are real.
I was wrong. They were not an illusion.
Well,
It's a horror RPG, folks. For people who are watching, this is not an unusual occurrence. It's a horror RPG. If children are watching, we're sorry.
if children are watching, come on.
Fuck
Come
you.
on, children. Go play.
Get your teddy bear.
We should have shaken the children off at the word accession. And they'd be like, that doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard of.
So anyway, okay. So eventually, Stella, you will come to the same tower that Claude saw. You will see the lit window 3 floors up. or what you assume is 3 floors up, about 30 feet above you. And then you've got what looks like some kind of castle wall to the left and a castle wall to the right. And this looks like it's some kind of corner tower.
Do I see a way to go in?
Nope, you do not. On this side, at least, it is just a tower.
So I'll go around.
Okay? Which side?
Left.
Okay. So you head left along the curtain wall. So, Claude, you walk towards the tower. You get up there, you get to the door. There is a
Sorry.
large door knocker. And that's it. That's all there is. There's a big, and I mean, this is not ruined. This is a great big reinforced wooden door. It's got big metal nails in it. Gazoon tight.
And there's a knocker, but this,
And there's a big knocker. And I don't
but
mean
not
the
like
fun
a
kind.
pull ring or a push bar or anything.
No.
Okay,
No, there's a big knocker, and there is a handle, but
Yeah.
when you try it, it doesn't open.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say I'll put my shoulder into it a little bit, but yeah, if failing that, since the light is on, I will actually use the knocker 3 times.
Okay. So for a few
Boom,
minutes there is
boom,
silence.
boom.
Yep. And we all know the movie that we have a similar reference for, right? Young Frankenstein.
Oh,
What?
no.
Knockers.
Yeah, nice knocker.
So anyway.
R.I.P. Terry Garr.
So yeah. So Stella, you find the same breach in the wall that Claude found, and as you step through, you hear the sound of boom, 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 and you look over and you see a small, dark figure there at the top of some stairs next to a tower. Can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
I put myself on mute because of the sneezes. Do I recognize its clothes?
Well, you see a dark figure. It's about 50, 60 feet away. It's in the twilight.
Okay. So I will,
It could be him.
So let's hope it's him, and I will go after him.
Okay. So Claude, roll a d20.
Okay. 14.
You hear something coming up from behind you.
Mm-mm. I will. Yeah, I'll turn in that direction. But yeah, I'll put my back against the door so that if like someone's throwing a bar or a bolt on the other side, I'll feel that to turn around.
Okay. So what you see, it looks like it's Stella coming towards you. And Stella, as you get closer, you do see it is in fact Claude, looking a little bit paler than usual, and looking at you from the top of the stairs in front of a very large and impressive-looking reinforced wooden door.
Why do you come in this form? Is it to tempt me with vivacious beauty?
Oh dear.
Don't be stupid, Claude. It's me, Stella.
Oh, sorry. Forget what I said.
Mason,
Go ahead.
Mason is dead. It was devoured by the hounds.
Oh, so they were real.
Yes.
I confess, I thought that most of this place was some sort of illusory element meant to test me.
Yeah, me too.
What Charlton thought, nobody knows because he died rather suddenly. So, Claude, you hear a creak and feel a slight breeze as the door opens behind you.
Yeah, I will.
Stella, you're actually facing in that direction, and you see a sudden bright light that kind of backlights Claude. It's almost blinding, but there's something else in the doorway. What you do, Claude?
I will turn to face the door and see who's opening it.
There's a massive hooded figure before you. It is enormous. You'd guess every bit of 7 feet tall, broad, and it just kind of stands there looking at you.
We have come to see the lady of the tower.
For a moment, it doesn't move, and then you see it cock its head like it's listening for something. And then it turns around, and you see it take a lamp from the wall beside the door, and it begins to walk towards a spiral staircase.
I'll motion to Stella, like, let's go. And yeah, close the door behind us, just should the hounds come this way. But I suspect they know better. And we will follow, or I will follow, the figure up the staircase. In for
All
penny
right.
and for pound, Stella.
So you guys begin to walk up the stairs. And this thing ahead of you, you notice that as you guys walk up the stairs, it makes no sound. As this thing walks up the stairs, they creak with every footstep. It's very loud and distinctive noise.
He's a bit of a beast, I'm gathering.
So you guys continue to walk up, and he walks kind of slow, but he's steady. And eventually you guys get up to a top floor, and there's a doorway before you, and he knocks. Boom, boom, boom. And then you hear a voice from within, a woman's voice, and it says, "Come in, bring them with you."
Hungarian accent?
And actually, no, it's a very good English, I mean, it sounds like somebody who's been trained to speak British English.
Oh,
rather than American English.
Midwestern or mid-Atlantic accent.
Yeah, no, it's actually someone who's been trained that you think it's a British accent, slightly. And the thing opens the door and walks in, and the door is open. And what do the two of you do?
I'm going to confirm, but I will say Mariska Bell, I presume.
And there's a moment of quiet, and then the voice comes back. "Are you going to stand outside or come in? I don't have all night." "Well, that's not true. Actually, I have as many nights as I want. But I can still be bored."
I'm coming inside.
Okay. Stella?
Yes, me too.
So you guys step in,
And I will say in reply to that to her, like, I've heard that the part about immortality no one tells you about is the boredom.
And again, there's a moment of quiet, and then she says, come in here." And the voice is coming from another room further up the hall. This is a short hallway. There's a very rich Persian rug on the floor. This part of the building doesn't look decrepit at all. It looks very nice, like it's very well maintained. It's stonework, like you would expect in a castle, but it's all very nice. The huge hulking thing is kind of standing in an alcove next to you. And as you guys pass it and head on into the inner room, it falls in behind you, and you can hear its heavy footsteps. So you guys step through the doorway where you hear the voice, and it looks like a really nice setting room. There's shelves with books. It's well lit. You can see the window that you apparently saw the light through. You can see what looks like a wind-up Victrola. And there, sitting in a chair, Holding a Glock 17 is Mariska Bell. You recognize her picture. And she doesn't look like she's aged a day.
Aged today from when she disappeared. Right.
No, she doesn't.
So she's
She
in her
looks
60s
uh,
or
well, that's the funny thing. All of the 12 apostles became famous for their youthful appearances.
gotcha.
Even Marion, who at the time that they did the original portrait of the 12 apostles was in her 40s, looked like a woman in her 20s. So Mariska looks at the two of you and she kind of waves you over to a pair of chairs. The big hulking thing takes up a station behind the two of you.
I will maintain decorum by allowing Stella to sit before I do.
So Mariska looks at the two of you for a moment, and she looks at you, Stella, and says, "Dear, you've lost a heel."
Yes. I was running from the hound things.
Mariska nods. She says, "You did well to get away from them. Usually they keep any visitors away."
Mm-hmm.
Who are you two, and who sent you?
I'm a Sickery scholar. My name is Claude Baker. You've been missing for 2 decades, by our reckoning, and an accession of your private vault was authorized.
I see.
We
Who authorized it? Marion?
no, all the original members are either missing or dead at this point.
Oh, really?
Council, the council authorized the accession.
So Marion and Chester Poole, they're not around anymore.
No, Marion. We're not sure what killed Marion. Chester died of cancer. Is that what you said? I'll look real quick. Chester. Oh, a stroke. Yeah, he died of a stroke a year after your disappearance.
Is that what they called it? Oh, I see.
Almost all of the deaths of the original or their disappearances surround various feast days, Beltane and Mossburgus not being very popular.
Well, not all are worthy. So Mariska gets up and she's still holding her gun. She kind of walks over to the window and looks out.
There is a
She
complication.
She says, Claude Baker, Claude Baker. I seem to recall there being some minor archaeologist of that name at some point in time. So you're a scholar now, are you?
I am.
Do you have any evidence of this?
I will pull forth my library card and my Sickery scholar badge.
She looks at it. She goes, "Oh, it looks like they changed the pattern a little bit since I left." All right, very well. And you, Stella, are you a
I
scholar?
am just a simple research assistant.
She has
Oh,
gifts
I
of the
see.
mind, which make her useful.
So I take it the two of you have been messing with my mirrors.
Well, that's the complication I mentioned. Rodrigo is still in play.
How?
Thinking, Jesus, I shouldn't have told her that. I should have told.
No. We need to let her know like what the issue. Yeah,
How would Rodrigo still be in play? I trapped him decades ago.
Your tete is deeper than either of you, I think, suspect. He updated your accession manual with a message. And I'll pull up my tablet and read it to her. Foolish, stupid descendant. You blamed your friends, but it was me all the time. I, Rodrigo Bell, Count of, skip to the end. Did you think that one who had even lived one life could not defeat me, or could defeat me? I will await your return and laugh at how you have harmed all those closest to you. And if the other reads this, then know that I am waiting for you as well.
Interesting. Mariska says some words, and
He killed at
you're not.
least one other scholar, which
Oh,
is
how
why
did he
we
do
had to
it?
flee into the mirror.
Oh,
Use the Wendigo. Use the Wendigo carpet.
did you foolish creatures cover one of the mirrors?
Oh, we did. We went to the right first.
Oh, I see. You found the storeroom first, of course.
Before the knowledge, yes.
Yeah. All
And
right.
I had a bad premonition about the mirrors.
I should have remembered to always go sinister.
That would have been a good choice.
Or Widdershins, depending on one's vantage.
Yes, but that doesn't exactly explain why you're here. There's no exit from
Because
this realm. Well, not for you. For
there
me,
was no
eventually,
exit.
yes.
There was no exit from the vault either.
Oh, he ended up trapping you in the vault.
Well, he's in the vault. We can't risk letting him out. And since you are a Sickery scholar in good standing, I felt
Well,
it
an apostle.
imperative to.
Say,
I found it imperative to bring the matter to your attention.
Hmm. I'm amazed that the three of you were able to survive your encounter with Rodrigo.
I
That was how many
believe.
there was? Three of
I
you?
believe he feels that you, or no, you've not told me that. Never mind.
no, I didn't. Four.
Yeah,
Well, one was killed by the hounds.
I see. But I don't understand. After all, Claude, you are a Sickery scholar. You have access to the Brabazon and Incunabulum. Why didn't you simply use a circle of protection or use astral projection to let others know of your plight?
astral projection was considered, but I considered since there were wards already present in the area that the area would be warded against the escape of Rodrigo. Um, Perhaps I assumed competence.
Well, that's the part that confuses me because I had put wards in place that I'm quite sure would keep him from doing anything major. Oh, he might do minor things, but huh.
Well, one of our RDC scholar may have opened the coffin.
Oh dear me, that was incredibly stupid.
And I look at
Oh
Paul
well.
and say, yes, he was a very stupid and
I was
correct.
No, I
wrong. We can
understand.
eat the girl. No. I'll take out the key from my pocket.
Ah, the
We had
key.
trouble figuring out. We had trouble figuring out which one was supposed to have us in it and which one wasn't supposed to have us in it.
I
Which
see.
I'm sure you're well aware.
Yes. You may place the key with my servant, and she points at the enormous hulking thing behind you. It reaches out a hand. It is a distinctly unattractive looking hand. It's big and it's meaty and scarred. It looks like some of the fingers were sewn on.
It's a homunculus. He's very large for a homunculus.
Oh, that
And
one's not a homunculus.
I'll lay
That one's a construct.
okay. I'll lay the key in its hand and give it an appraising look and go. I'm very impressed. The legends of the 12 apostles are not without foundation.
So Mariska looks at the two of you and says, "What am I supposed to do with you? I'm not ready to return yet.
Well,
And
that's
I
the
can't have
question.
you telling others about me."
Who 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 would we tell?
Well, I presume the board. Although, if Marion and Chester are no longer with us, I don't suppose it matters very much.
If you returned as one of the 12, you would have considerable power on the outside, even
Oh,
if you did not
what I am
find
going
the
to
king's
have
crown here.
matters so much more than anything I had there. But I'm just not ready to return yet. However, I will release you.
What
In
is there to
return,
do here, I suppose, is the next question. Is
oh,
there
you needn't
something of
concern
utility?
yourself.
Is there something of utility to be done here?
There is something for me to do here. But for you two, you will need to leave. And she goes over and she reaches into a drawer and pulls out a distinctly wickedly curved dagger. It
Hmm.
is jet black blade, leather wrapped handle. Um,
Oh, a ritual dagger, I'm
well,
guessing.
yeah, but it's a very large and sharp looking
Yeah.
one. And she tosses it on the floor at your feet, Claude, and says, I tire of having to concern myself with my foolish ancestor. You may return with that through the mirror. I will see to it the hounds do not disturb you. And if you exit my realm, you can survive by killing Rodrigo. Whatever form he has occupied now leaves him vulnerable. And once he's dead, you can exit the vault.
I'll pick up the thing and keep my thoughts to myself and say, very well, we will progress. I assume that all of the mirrors can be reached from here.
She says you'll go back out the mirror you entered in. That way has been locked until you return through it.
I'll nod. Very well.
Well, if it is that simple to kill him, why haven't you done it?
I couldn't be bothered. It would have meant going back, and I'm not ready to go back. But the two of you can go back. In fact, I insist upon it. And then she looks at the big thing behind you and says, escort them out. And you guys feel it kind of lift you up out of your chairs very easily, one of you in each hand, and then it lets go. And Mariska looks at the two of you and says, goodbye.
Let's leave, I guess.
She's
All right.
When we are out of, I will say, she's fucking us over. You know he's going to kill us.
I assume that she can hear. It's best to assume she can hear whatever we're saying.
Yes, I'll say.
We have no choice. We must do what she says. I will say to you in a very clear voice. I guess
Alrighty.
she's right. We'll have to do everything she says.
So again, the thing this time, instead of going ahead of you, shadows you, but it does hold the lantern high so
Yeah,
that the way before you is well lit.
Then we will proceed to the mirror unless there are complications along the way.
There are no complications along the way. You guys exit the tower. You can go back out the way you came in. The thing closes the door behind you. It does hand you the lantern first, so you do have the light source as you are exiting. So you guys can see a little bit better. You can see everything is very dark. It's very wooded. It's very thicket. You guys go back down the trail. You find the remains of Mason Clark. The hounds appear to have eaten everything except the palms of his hand and his skull. His head sits in this trail looking up at you both with wide eyes and a look of horror on its face. Each of you takes a fear point.
What's so scary about it?
At this point, you might wonder, but it's the horrific and violent death thing.
Yeah,
And of course,
I blame Charleston for this.
yeah, Charlton is blamed for everything.
Charlton, what have you done?
So you guys continue walking down the trail, and eventually it dead ends at the mirror. And you notice that as you approach it, this time it's like the scene opens up and you can see the room.
All right, so it's time to consider, the rituals in earnest here.
Well, I'm going to tell. Are we out of hearing from Mariska now? Should we be?
No, I think once we step through the mirror.
Yes.
But in the meantime, let me see about circle of protection as a possibility here.
Yeah,
now, is it a circle I have to draw and then?
Well, it's the circle of protection that's in Darker RPG. So
Yeah,
all
so
the rituals,
no.
except for 2, which are specific to the Black Protocol, but all the rituals are rituals that are available in Darker RPG. So you get access to all the basic rituals, plus astral projection, brew potions, circle of protection, communicate with other dreamers, dream deception, influence other dreamers, nightmare curse, pyromancy, scrying, soul binding, and twisted lust. So soul binding and summon Brabazon entity are peculiar to the Brabazon incunabulum, but the rest are all in Darker RPG. And I think the red rules too.
Yeah, I'm looking. Circle of protection doesn't seem like it's going to be logistically possible at the moment. Astral projection I could do, but that's. I'm sorry to slow things down. I want to look and see if there's anything to bring to bear before we step through. What is a Drabazon entity?
That summons the High King of Death. So that spell is detailed in the Black Protocol. Basically, it just summons him.
Oh, it's on the page before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that summons Ardri Nabas, which simply means High King of Death in ancient Irish. It does summon him. It's a very high target number.
Yeah.
Usually it's cast by a circle.
And I need,
Of course,
the
once he's
original
invoked, it's really more like you're just calling him.
Yeah.
And he'll come, but of course, once he comes,
Then I have
he
to
can
bind
do,
him to my wheel.
he can do pretty much whatever he wants.
We'll wait for another session or two before I try that. All right. So yeah, let's step through, and then if we're not immediately in the crap, then I can try astrally projecting. But I think it might not come to that. So yeah, we'll step through back into the room.
Okay, so you guys are back in the room with the desk.
And I'm going to look to make sure the mirror is back on the desk.
Ironically enough, the small mirror is right back there on the desk. You can see that somebody has tidied up the fight scene. All the little shards and dust of glass is gone. It looks, not exactly neat because it's got stuff piled everywhere, obviously.
Yeah.
but it's not any disorder. It's just
Yeah, nothing
you know,
nothing is out of place that she did not intentionally put out of place.
exactly. You even see the big book back on the desk open to the page it was open when you came in.
Yeah.
Uh, the vault door is closed, and you hear nothing.
Okay. Now I will take out from my pocket a piece of silver cord and kind of spin it in the air so that when it falls, as close to a circle as I can get it in this space.
Okay.
And yeah, I will place myself appropriately within it and begin an astral projection spell.
Okie dokie. So astral projection is because there's still one spell caster surviving. So the target number for ritual magic, and you do use your wits, is 20. It will last 8 hours once you cast it.
And I've got ritual magic 3. Is there anything else I can do to boost it?
No, not that I'm aware of.
And you don't have ritual magic, right? But you're a psychic.
Yes.
Okay. I will let her. Yeah, I will let her into the circle as well, and we'll sort of face each other,
Oh, thank you.
and then yeah, I'll open my mind up to letting her also share my experience as I do this.
Okay.
This is
So,
kind of a weird tandem jump approach. We'll see if it works.
alrighty. Go ahead and make your D20 roll.
All right. 16, 17, 18, 19. So one down unless
One short. So
her yeah.
you
Unless
chant.
Can I help
You
with
focus. Unfortunately, no.
No,
It is
okay,
ritual
yeah,
magic.
Okay.
You can sense that he is trying to open some kind of door that you've never passed through yourself. But somehow he just doesn't quite manage it. And hours later, you guys are just kind of there inside the circle. And Claude looks a little drained and very frustrated.
This is the time when you say that this happens to lots of people. This happens to lots of mages.
Also, I
Don't
should have
worry about
required you to roll a d20 twice, but it doesn't matter because you failed anyway.
Oh, that's what the curse. Okay, that's my curse.
Yeah.
I figured it was just because my soul was extra weighty that I had to roll.
No,
twice.
no, no. You're
So I've been
cursed,
rolling
but
with
remember,
advantage or
you didn't.
disadvantage, right?
You are cursed, but you aren't aware that you're cursed right now. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well, then I guess we have to do this the traditional way. All right. I will take my card and run it down the card reader to open this door, and have
Okay.
the blade ready.
Okay.
And then
So-
peek into the main room or peek into the hub room.
Okay. So in the entryway room, you do not see anything. Previously, you know that Mason had come and screamed that Charlton had been killed, but you don't see any sign of anything. The door across from you is open, as is the door to the central room. But there's no sign of anything at the moment that you can see.
Is there any sign of Charlton or what happened to him? Or did they clean
There is
that
not.
up?
There is not.
Okay,
Is
I
the mirror
will-
still covered?
Well, that's in the other room. You're
yes.
looking into
I thought that was the door that was open.
No, you're looking into the entryway from the room that you're in.
Yeah.
And then there is a door into the storage room.
And
But
that is
if you'll look at the map,
yeah.
the
and
mirror is in a different part of that room, so you couldn't
correct,
see it there.
right, yeah. So we're going to go into the main room, and I am going to hand my ID card over
Mhm.
to Stella, and the door into the storage room is open, right?
It is.
I'm going to go into that room and just peek around to make sure that the carpet's where it should be and that sort of thing, and see if the imps uncovered the mirror.
And as you peek into the room, you do indeed see the Wendigo pelt kind of piled into a pile,
Mm-hmm.
and the mirror in that room is uncovered.
Okay, I will close that door.
Okay. And it closes with a
we're
click.
in the central room now. All three doors are closed.
No, the door to the where the glass cases are located is still open.
Okay, I'm going to close that door as well.
Okay.
So all three interior doors closed, us in the foyer, right?
That's correct.
All right. Then I'm going to key the main vault door.
There's a problem. The keypad on your side has literally been ripped off the wall.
Gotcha.
You just see some bare wires, and you see the original keypad entry laying on the ground in front of you. But it's been removed.
Okay. What's the protocol if we do not report in for a certain amount of time?
You know that somebody will come looking, but it could be a couple of days.
Okay. Wow, there's just no polite way to ask this, but how long do I think I could last if I ate Stella?
Well, I don't think you'll starve to death in 48 hours. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Um,
But still,
but-
I'm gonna just I'm just gonna do the math a bit. Like, if I had to wait a week, let's talk. Have a seat,
Yeah.
and I'll sit on one of the nice chairs, and yeah, I'll get my card back from her. There are three things we can do. I think we can do what she wants, we can do what he wants, or we can just get out of here when we can get out of here.
Let's get out of here and call for help.
I'll have to rest a bit, but I think our best chance is to astrally project and see if I can step out of here and get the door open or fetch someone.
You still have your laptops, guys.
I do. Yeah. Oh, that's true. And the Wi-Fi's back in here, I guess.
You now have the connection to the internal
Yes.
Sickery private library. Network, yes.
I limber up my fingers and send a sternly worded, please help us, for the love of God, help us. To security. I'm like, there's been damage to the interior of the vault. Could someone please come and unlatch it from the other side?
Okay. Alrighty, you send your message, and you get a message back after a few minutes from security telling you that they'll have to send someone down with a board member permission, because only a very limited number of people are allowed to have access. So they got to get a hold of a board member on a weekend to get a card authorized.
Gotcha. Is there a code that would post date? Like, is there a code I can put in the email that will let them know, but not let Mariska, if she is watching, know that there is a very big problem in this vault.
Not a code, no, not anything that you guys arranged in advance.
Gotcha. Okay,
So-
then yeah, I will say understood. We'll breathe shallowly until we hear from you.
Okay. Well, air has not been the problem.
No,
but
but I'm going to be passive aggressive all the same.
yeah. So a few hours pass, and then eventually you guys hear a clicking sound, which indicates that the vault door has been opened. And the minute you hear that, you hear the sound of shattering glass resound throughout the vault.
Mm.
And
Was
then
that
the vault
the sound?
door.
Was that the sound that preceded the little creatures coming out?
Oh, it's a much louder sound than that.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and you also feel something happen in the pocket where you're keeping the dagger.
Okay, I will draw it out.
You reach for it, and all you have is the handle.
Oh, good.
And you hear the vault door begin to open.
I'm going to take my jacket off.
Okay. And 4 men step into the room. 3 of them are in TAC Ops gear. And one of them is dressed like a standard security guard commander.
Yeah.
And he looks around and he looks at you two and says, "What's happened? What's going on?"
We need to transit out. This needs to be permanently locked. I'll explain later.
So he says, "All right." And he waves his men to stand aside and motions for you two to exit the vault.
Okay.
And they come out behind you and they shut the vault door behind you. And the security commander kind of looks at you and says, "I don't want to know. I don't ever want to know.
Right.
But I'll take you to the people who probably will have lots of questions."
Correct. Yeah. We'll prep for debrief, and then yeah, I will ask one of them to pat me down to make sure that there's nothing secreted on me.
There is not. All they find on you is pretty much what you went in with, except for the handle, which they do take. And they say, "We'll deliver this with you." Is this something from inside the vault?
It is.
Oh, okay. And they take you back upstairs. So for this ending, here is the exit crawl. You go back up to the upstairs floors. You're going up to the 5th floor, which is where the Sikri scholars have all their most important meetings. It's where the boards meets. It's where scholars are debriefed. Both of you are debriefed over an extensive period of time by multiple questioners. And Claude, Stella, you don't recognize any of these guys. Where in the world did they come from? You've never seen them before. But then, Stella, you've never been on the 5th floor. As a research assistant, this is just not a place where you come. And Claude, you've only ever come on very special occasions. Well, apparently this is a very special occasion. Here you are. Finally, Stella, they let you go home, tell you to come back and report to work the following Monday. Everything's fine. They've got all your recollections, everything you remember. Of course, you were advised that you're not to speak about it to anyone else outside the organization, and that you're not supposed to speak about it to anyone within the organization who hasn't been involved in the investigation. Claude, they take you into a black marble room. There is a large, ornate, carved oak desk in front of you with 2 ornate chairs. And there's a man on the other side sitting in one, and he motions you to the other chair.
I will take it. I apologize that we are meeting for this reason.
He says, just to be clear, you maintain that you saw Mariska Bell.
I did, or at least a otherworld projection of her. It's very hard to be sure how much of what occurred was physical.
Scholar Baker, I'm about to tell you something that you are not to tell anyone ever. But the body of Mariska Bell was found in Prague 15 years ago.
Within the collection is her accession diary. She mentions making a homunculus of herself using one of her research assistants. If you'll look at research assistants during the time period, and I'll give him the diary dates, you may find that there is a missing research assistant. And
He nods. He says, "Yes,
I'll lay
I've
the
seen the
laptop
debrief."
down. Yeah, I'm assuming they didn't already take it, and say the recordings and such are available there unless you decide to destroy them.
He says, "Well, Scholar Baker, we've seen your debrief, and it may be that what you have seen was exactly what you describe. It may be something else. It's hard to know dealing with certain kinds of entities, and particularly the kinds of things that Mariska Bell dealt with."
Agreed, but there are at least two astral entities within that area that are in contention with each other, or are staging an elaborate false war with one another in order to involve whoever would go into that facility. But we have lost 2 personnel, so there is some reality.
Yes, poor Charlton. Well,
and Mason.
There were the questions about admitting him given his age at the time. Not that that's usually an issue, but he shrugs. And he says,
I'll actually smile wryly at that.
Yeah.
Now that
it's a dangerous business that we are in. I guess that the issue of the accession will have to wait for a while longer. Thank you very much, Scholar Baker. You are dismissed. And he gets up, presses a panel in the wall. You can't really see what he's depressed, but it opens a small doorway. He steps through and walks away.
Yep, and I will head out to the parking lot to see how long it takes before the car bomb goes off.
You walk out of the building. You walk into the bright Florida sunshine. It's a bright, sunny day. It's hot. There's humid. There's salt in the air from the sea breeze that comes in from the Gulf. And you try very hard not to think about what's 100 feet underground.
Yeah.
You try very hard not to think about Vault G2. Did you really see what you saw? In a way, it all feels like a dream, but you know that dreams can be very real. The one thing you do understand, at least for now, there will be no Bell accession.
Boom, boom, boom.
And that's it, folks.
Although, technically, she did the Bell accession.
You might say so. You might say so. But not from the point of view of the organization. So, in any event, I want to thank everyone who's been watching.
Yeah, I think the next day when I wake up and the car hasn't exploded on the way to or from work, I'm going to be like,
that's what I was
good.
thinking. Are they going to kill me?
Yeah.
When are they going to kill me?
But you see, that's going to have to kind of hang out there.
Right.
As all too often happens in horror films. It's the ambiguities that you end on that leave you wondering.
Right. Now we just have to find out if this is going to become a franchise.
There you go. The Bell Accession Part 2. The accessioning happens again.
Even more accessioning.
Even more accessioning. So anyway, thanks everyone for joining us this evening. We hope you had a lot of fun. Again, you can find the Darker RPG at the Red Room Games store online. You can find the Black Protocol, and who knows, one of these days you may be able to find the Bell Accession as well. And then you can see what the other options were, the other possibilities that we did not take. And so I'll say good night.
Night, everyone.
Good night, and end stream.